Hello, welcome to Hockey on Tap podcast, episode 139, the 2023 NHL Draft Preview Show. I'm your host, Bill Dean, of course, here with my three co-hosts, Shorts Guy, Little Steve, and Schwim. You find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Please leave us a 5-star review if you're so kind. We are brought to you by Sam Wu, courtesy of Primetime Radio, and I'm behind the glass today. But, gentlemen, what are we drinking?
All right, I guess I'll go first. It's a monumental day in my house because I converted my kegerator. Here comes the good news. I converted my kegerator to have 2 kegs on tap now at all times, which is probably not good for my liver. And so for today, I'm having 2 beverages. I have the regular Wildwood Haze, which I've been drinking for a couple weeks now, and newly tapped, now on tap at Casa de Shorts Guy, is Cold Crash Hard Cider from Pennings in a Cape May barrel.
Not Cape May Brewing.
Love it.
Not Cape May Brewing. I was looking for a good glass. It was like a barrel glass. That is a glass for some cider. But I could just turn it around and just have the state of New Jersey, even though it's a New York cidery. But I could just do that. But, either way, 2 beverages on tap. Does this mean I have to have 2 beverages every podcast? I don't know.
It might.
It's possible. It might. It might.
I
Just
also
wait
have
till
some,
just
I
wait
also
till
have
the
some
winter.
very good news.
What is that?
I'll show it to you.
Oh, my God. Where'd you get that?
Thanks
It was
to
bequeathed.
courtesy of Dan Valvano leaving his cooler. It was bequeathed to
Oh
me
my god.
last week.
Wow.
I'll actually be drinking this instead. Pineapple
Wow.
Papaya Fandango by Toppling Goliath.
Ooh, nice.
Always very good.
Kettle sour with pineapple and papaya.
I sure hope there's none of
At
that
some
stinking
point-
lactose in there.
There is not. I don't know that they ever use lactose, to be honest with you, but this is like, I don't really want to go to Iowa, but I kind of want to go to Iowa.
Just
Because
for
Toppling
Go to
Goliath
Iowa?
is
Toppling.
pretty awesome.
Where in Iowa are they?
They are in Decorah. Brewed in beautiful Decorah, Iowa. Should I take their word for it, or should we go and see if it's actually beautiful?
Go check
know,
it out for
looking up-
ourselves and get some corn.
So Decorah is actually in a nice area. It's like outside of National Park.
Here we go. The Iowa expert over here.
No, I don't know. I'm looking on a map.
I'm
But
looking on a map,
it's south of Minneapolis. I mean, I guess you go to St. Paul, see a hockey game, and then just drive down there maybe an hour or 2. Or you can go to Cedar Rapids or Des Moines. Ooh, sounds like a great place. Or go to Milwaukee and drive across. There's a couple things. Let's go.
One of my favorite bands is
Mi-
from Iowa.
Milwaukee.
So I'm all about going to Iowa.
Slipknot.
No. Modern Life is War. Believe it or
Slipknot?
not, there's 2 bands that came out of Iowa.
Slipknot really from
I
Iowa?
am.
They
Yeah,
are.
they're from Iowa. That's the name of their
Oh, I didn't know that.
second album.
No, I didn't know
What
that.
in God's name is happening on the TV?
I have no idea.
Is,
glad-
any, is
I'm glad
anybody
I'm not
else
watching.
like what?
I'm not watching it.
Not watching it. Which is it on NHL Network?
Yeah, it's on
No, it's on
TNT.
TNT.
It's
TNT.
just there's a bunch of rednecks serving the Lady Bing Award. So
No.
yeah, and these songs have been terrible.
Well, it's
Remember
all
that
country music, and which none of
there
us
was
can
that-
stand.
there was that one NHL Awards years back where they had, I forget who they gave the cup to bring out, and he brought the cup out onto the stage and he put it on the stage upside down. Does anybody remember? Am I
Nice.
the only one that remembers that?
I do
don't
not
know
remember
that,
that, but that's hilarious.
It was in awards. I got to look it up. All right.
So far, Ted Lindsay went to Connor McDavid, and they're about to do
Got a
the,
head-to-head
Lady
matchup
Bing.
here between Shorts Guy and Schwim.
Yeah, Braden Point versus Jack Hughes. I want Kopitar to
Ooh.
take it 'cause both you two can suck it.
I don't
the
understand how exactly do you like? I'm genuinely curious how somebody is more Lady Bing than somebody else. Like how
I don't know. Doesn't
what
make
would
any
be the
sense.
reasoning one of these players is voted more Lady
And-
Bing than the other?
Kopitar. It went to Kopitar.
He's not even there. He's not
Both
even
you
there.
two
Anjay.
suck. Take that.
I mean, I don't blame him for
Uh,
not being there because I wouldn't want to go.
No.
Why
I
wasn't
don't-
why wasn't Jacob Trouba nominated?
He's
Yeah.
the most Lady Bing of all.
They should have an
He is the
opposite
most
Lady
Lady
Bing award.
Bingley.
Hey, there he is.
There he is. Yes, ain't no award. His eyes. He looks like he never looks at the camera. It's like he's looking up. All right, did we finish our beers, by the way?
By the way, I'm drinking
No,
romantic
excuse me.
chemistry.
Jeez Louise.
Romantic chemistry, love it. Shorts guy, we did yours.
Somebody got that for you.
Bolero
Steven got this
Snort.
for me. It was very ultra docious of him.
Mm-hmm.
The gang plays with strawberries and pickles. So Steven
It's
had
a good
this
one.
at my house, but it's a strawberry drink mix with pickling spices and certified color. I love that at the end. Certified color.
All that sounds very
Certified
shady.
Color.
So you know it's good.
By the way, I just found that clip. It was the singer of Def Leppard that did that. So
Wow.
Very
that's
nice.
not a shock. Yeah, they suck. I hate Def Leppard.
They
All right,
suck.
So let's get to what's on tap for today's episode.
Morons.
Here's a weekly snapshot. As you can tell, the NHL award show is on our screens, and they've announced 2 winners so far. Jack Hughes is stunned that he didn't win.
I'm stunned.
But so the awards ceremony is on there. Also, we'll be previewing the NHL draft. Drew Way was not able to join the show. I really appreciate him, helping
Not
us out.
coming on?
He left. Well, he left me with a boatload of information, stuff that he left me with so much stuff in a direct message. It's crazy.
Good.
So thank you, Drew Way, and we'll have him on either next week or the week after to do a draft recap. Also, just the amount of trades that have happened.
Ooh, the brothers
already,
Osborne.
Yep, brothers Osborne on the screen. Steven's is
Holy
enthralled,
cow.
as you can hear in his voice. Tons of trades have happened. Tons of trades more will happen because the draft on Wednesday. It's just I love this time of year. You name the Stanley Cup, you see craziness with still Vegas is throwing a party, but you have a lot of fun going on. With the NHL now and the draft and the awards nominations, hopefully maybe a certain Norris winner from New York. But
No.
yeah, I know it's not going to happen. I know. But yeah, NHL at the forefront, and it's good to see. Gents, let's do the awards quickly. The more
Believe it or not,
coming up.
this is music.
This is music.
Like I'm learning right now.
Yeah,
I'm glad I can't hear it.
Yeah,
all right, the big awards. We won't go over everything, but the big awards. Hart Memorial, Connor McDavid, Pasternak, Tkachuk. I think we know it's going to be McDavid. He had a record season. It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
I think that's
there's
kind
no
of James Norris. I also think that it's kind of set in stone. But Carlson, Cale Makar, Adam Fox. The only thing maybe for second place, because I do think that's kind of like Adam Makar, who had, he played injured. He didn't have the best year, but he was still ridiculous because Cale Makar and then Adam Fox on the other side, another good year for the young Ranger defenseman. I know we all think Carlson's going to win it, but who would you guys maybe the second place? Actually, here, who would win second place for the Hart? Because we said McDavid would automatically win it. Would you rather have Pasta or Tkachuk? Seasons.
Tkachuk.
I think Tkachuk too. Yeah.
I like him too. Yep. Just because
Yeah.
brand new team and a team that was I guess
I think I give that stat last
still pretty
week.
good, but not expected. I guess to as the season was going on, not expected to do all that much, and then made their way into the playoffs and went to the freaking finals. And he was awesome in the playoffs, even though that doesn't count. But
he was hurt.
And then basically turned back into the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, he had a broken body. I
steam.
think was the final.
Midnight struck. And they turned into themselves.
Pumpkins.
The dirtiest old pumpkins there are. There was a Tkachuk. I had the Tkachuk stats from last week, and I can't find it. But it was something like he played 99 games. He had 130 something points. Here we go.
To you by Tractor Supply. I would have never guessed.
Matthew Tkachuk's first season as a Florida Panther, just quickly. 99 games played, 51 goals, 82 assists, 133 points, 10 game-winning goals, a plus 41, Hart finalist, Eastern Conference champion, All-Star Game MVP. I mean, his first year, is that maybe the best year after signing a large contract with a team just coming out of the gates? I think Panarin would be another one. He almost won the Hart. But, he did so much for this team to start off his, that young career where he's going to have over there. So it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he came into Florida and he made a splash, and you got to credit him for the reason why they went as far as they did. Even you got to credit him for them just making the playoffs. He basically called his entire team out on the radio, and they responded. So they must like him in the locker room. They must want to follow him in the locker room. And if without Tkachuk, does Florida do what they did? Probably not. Coming into a new team like that and being embraced by the fan base and embracing your new team. I know he didn't want to be in Calgary.
Fan base.
Yes. Fan base. Hey, at least they threw the rats. At least they had enough.
Implying
at least they knew enough of their history to.
You're implying that there are fans.
Their history.
Enough fans to make a base
to throw rats. That's all. That's all I wanted to see were the rats. But I think that he was definitely a bigger piece to that team getting to the heights that they did before they came crashing down.
Yeah. Okay. So Hart Memorial, Jim Norris. So who'd you guys do for Norris? Second, Foxy or Makar?
Roman Josi.
Roman Josi. I like it.
Makar.
Yeah, I didn't ask you, Shorts guy. Vezina Trophy.
Well, I gave you my opinion anyway.
Vezina. Future Pittsburgh Penguin, Connor Hellebuyck, Ilya Sorokin, or Linus Ullmark?
I think it's another slam dunk there.
Yep.
See, I don't think it's a slam dunk. I think it's Sorokin.
I don't think it is either.
Yeah, it's Ullmark.
I'm going Ullmark as well.
More than likely, it'll probably be Ullmark, but I would like to see Connor Hellebuyck win it. But then again, that makes him much more expensive.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's going to make $9 to $10 million a year.
No, I don't. If he gets this, it'll be his second. It'll be his second Vezina, right, for Hellebuyck. I don't think another Vezina makes him more expensive. I think he's going to get about.
He's ridiculous.
He's a $10 million goalie.
It'll
bottom line.
But it'll come down to recency bias, and he can say, "Well, I just won the Vezina, and you need to pay me more because I just won the Vezina." It's not like, remember I won the Vezina a couple of years ago? It'll be one of those things where he could be like, where now he can go and command that extension because if he were to win it, he could say, "Hey, I am your reigning Vezina goaltender."
I don't think. I don't think he need, unless he wants to chase like $13 million. I don't think he needs anything to bolster his salary.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt him though. It doesn't hurt.
No, it doesn't hurt, but I don't think it helps. Yeah.
Yep.
I was going to say the only other person that looks maybe as unathletic as Phil Kessel is Ilya Sorokin, who I do think wins the Vezina. He was that good this year, but we'll see what happens. Calder Memorial Trophy, Beniers.
What you are on?
I like Ilya Sorokin. I think he did very well. He had
I think he did too. But...
He was the only reason that team made it to the playoffs. And because Pittsburgh couldn't win in Chicago, but that's something.
Let's be honest. This is all Pittsburgh's fault. It's nobody else's fault. But it's
Calder Trophy.
Fault. It's Chicago's fault.
No, guys
They couldn't even lose correctly. How do you try? How do you try to lose and you don't?
Yeah, but they did. They got the ultimate prize. They got Connor Bedard.
Is Cervelli okay?
No, he looks like
he's another one.
Is he a hamburger?
He's eating something.
Is who eating a burger?
And he can't stop coughing.
I like how he's BioSteel, and then he has a cheeseburger or something. Like two opposite ends of the spectrum. Calder Trophy once again. Matty Beniers, Owen Power, not Max Power, and Stuart Skinner. I think it's Beniers. I think we all agree with that one.
Yeah.
That's why Owen's not going to win it.
Yep. Last one, because I don't think the rest of us really care, but Dave Hackstall, Jim Montgomery, Lindy Ruff, Coach of the Year. I think it's Montgomery just for the historic season that Boston had.
I would just like Lindy Ruff.
I agree.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not going to be. Short guy holding up a picture of Corey Perry. We'll talk about that fine young gentleman very soon. Yeah, good job, Schwim. Okay, that is, as we get the picks in for winners.
I didn't realize, I didn't even realize that like basically every trophy is pretty much a slam dunk.
At least it should be.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like all of them are pretty obvious who's going to win them. Who's going to win them now? Who should win them? Like, I don't know. I think you could make the case that Matthew Tkachuk is more of an MVP to Florida than McDavid, but that's not how the trophy works. And your argument about Sorokin carrying the team on his back to get to the playoffs versus, Boston having the best season in NHL history with Ullmark having all of the stats that he did. But you can't, you just can't look past that. That's what it is. The Vezina Trophy goes basically to, it's not the most important goalie to your team. It's, who dominated the most. And Ullmark did. And McDavid did. So, unfortunately, this is where we're at.
Hopefully, people can take into account what the player, because you did see that Ullmark's backup. Why am I blanking on Ullmark's backup? Swayman was as good, if not maybe even better, when he was in the net. So that's the only reason. His
not
stats
better, but
might
comparable.
say that he was.
They were an amazing tandem, but not better. Ullmark was unbeatable, basically, on a nightly basis. And then he figured out who he was come playoff time, and we saw Boston eliminated.
We did. Love this. Keep up the good work on Facebook Live. Please let us know if you have any questions. And we appreciate the tune-ins and the follows and the listens and high fives and thumbs ups and I hate Schwims. It's all good stuff. So, all right.
It's all part of the broadcast.
All part of the fun. Let's get to some NHL news, and then we'll go to the draft. Big trade today came down. One that kind of threw us through a little bit of a loop. The Bruins, not so much on the Bruins side, but the Hawks side. And I understand at least Hall from the Hawks side. So Bruins deal Taylor Hall, the rights to Nick Foligno, UFA, to the Hawks. They get Ian Mitchell and a crappy player.
The rights to those two players.
Yeah. The other player was Alec Regula, pending RFA. So anyways, the Bruins are able to shed off a $6 million salary. I understand it from their point of view. They, especially for a team that's so far over the cap and still doesn't have enough money to sign Bergeron or Krejci, which is going to be a lot of fun to see how they maneuver around this. But anyways,
is Bergeron coming back? Has he announced that?
They don't know yet.
He hasn't announced.
I guess they want enough room.
Not coming back.
Yeah, okay. I guess they want enough room to make sure that it might be able to.
And they were saying that they were looking to sign Bertuzzi to a contract. Mm-hmm. He's a UFA, but they're trying to retain him by dumping.
I don't know
the $6 million contract, but I don't know. I don't see how all this is going to work.
What was Taylor Hall making for them?
$6 million.
$6 million.
Taylor Hall was making $6 million.
They're projected. They're still in the negative. I don't know how it's possible for them to sign anybody. They have to make a significant trade, and I'm not really sure who they
No comment.
But yeah, UFAs, Bertuzzi, Bergeron, Garnet Hathaway, Krejci, Tomas Nosek, Trent Fredericks an RFA, so he's going to get paid. Ian Mitchell's an RFA. Connor Clifton. Dmitry Orlov's a UFA.
Stamkos won the Mark Messier, Schwim.
Oh, really nice. Woo!
Good job, Stan.
Finally.
It's a bullshit award. Charlie McAvoy.
He's only your friggin' favorite player, and you're calling it a bullshit award?
It's a horrible award. The leadership award? Seriously?
If a Ranger won it, it wouldn't be a bullshit award.
No.
If Adam Fox won it, you wouldn't call it a bullshit award.
No, the Norris.
Jacob Trouba won it. You'd be like, he's the greatest captain in the history of captains.
Seriously.
He's not the greatest captain because he doesn't have the best elbows. That belongs to one Scott Stevens, but his second best elbows.
He's got the modern. He's got the best modern
elbow. All right, so your guys' take on the Bruins deal. Hall obviously goes to Hawks. He's going to play with Connor Bedard when he gets there. I think that's a good
if he doesn't get flipped
to give him. No, yeah, I don't think he will. I mean, I guess if he really doesn't want to play there,
New York Rangers.
I mean, I'll take him as a right winger if he's going to retain half salary, sure.
No, they're not doing that.
But quickly on Hall, I think he's a good player to add with Connor Bedard. You need someone that's going to snipe the puck, maybe plays on the wing and gets some, power play time with a young kid that, is going to get targeted for his whole first season. What's your guys' takes quickly?
Salary dump. I'm not excited.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Salary dump.
Boston's got to do a lot more than just that, which is kind of crazy.
True.
Hall is Hall's a good player, but it's just I don't know. He was inconsistent for us. So
Hall is an okay player at this point.
He's not great.
He's very okay.
I mean, let's not lie. We would take him on Toothless and Bone Storm in a heartbeat.
Well, obviously, we would take friggin' Tanner Glass on Bone Storm.
You would take Corey Perry on Bone Storm.
I wouldn't.
You know what? I would. I would take Pat Maroon also, scoring goals.
Pat Maroon showed
he
what
was
he could do
Saturday.
on the rink. That was great.
That was great. I turned when you sent that to me. I immediately turned it on right to when he was scoring. I was like, "What the frig are the odds of that?"
That
I'm
was
like, "Yeah, Patty."
And then the power play goal too. Anyway,
yeah. Talk about a salary dump. Nashville Predators send out Ryan Johansson to the Colorado Avalanche for Alex Galchenyuk. Alex Galchenyuk, nine teams in 8 years.
It's crazy.
Nashville retains 50%, so it's roughly 2 years at $4 million per. Apparently, Nashville was even thinking about buying out Johansson, so they were happy to find a trade partner. Obviously, I'm pretty sure Galchenyuk will not be long for the Predators. But another salary dump.
Why did Connor Bedard already get an award?
What did he get?
I don't know. I missed what the name of the award was, but how did Connor Bedard get an award?
He got an NHL award without even playing a game in the league.
Well, I say, is it the best?
Not even on
did he win the Prospect Award?
Something of excellence.
Did they give him Rookie of the Year for next season already?
I know what it is. It's the Montgomery Burns Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence.
Uh-oh.
I like it.
You may,
sounds
by
like
the
it
way,
might be right.
You may lose me shortly because the power just flickered here. Just an FYI. Uh-oh.
We'll see. Hopefully get Shorts guy in.
We'll find out.
Shorts guy's going to come back after the power going out and be absolutely hammered because you're just going to be sitting there drinking 2 kegs.
Hey, power doesn't knock out the kegerator.
How do you like Johansson to the Avs? You think it's a good fit?
Pours.
Say who? What?
Johansson of the Avalanche.
I think it's a very good fit for them. He can be their number two center, or maybe you could probably move him up and down the lineup. And to only give away Galchenyuk to get him and at 50% retained, right? Nashville retained half of the contract, so I think it's a pretty good win for Colorado. Plus, they're missing friggin' Landeskog again all year.
Yeah, Landeskog.
Calder's up.
Yeah, I don't know who this guy is. He's big, large.
Post Malone gained a lot of weight.
I don't think it's Post Malone. I don't think it is.
Yeah, I'm joking.
Oh, okay. Wow, I got totally thrown off by this big fat guy on the screen. Johansson, Colorado plays that very fast pace, but he is so smart and he has such good hands that he's also, his coach Bednar was with him in Columbus when they drafted him, so he knows a little bit about him. So I think it's a really good fit. Steve, you think maybe power play is a good one to? Maybe that's why they added him, is that power play spot, that second center?
Would hope so, because that's basically the only way he gets plenty points.
Yeah.
You're not going to rely on him for 5-on-5 anything. I think we're giving him a lot more credit. He had a good season, not last season, the season prior,
2 seasons
when
ago.
him and Duchesne took off. He's injury prone, and it's a risk on the surface. You think of, okay, this is Ryan Johansson that we used to know from years ago, and he very much is not. There's no defense at all, but he can be a very skilled playmaker. But he's not going to mass produce points. Is he a replacement for Landeskog? Not in the slightest bit. But they got Nashville to eat half his contract. That helps. And you'll see what he can do with, I guess, a little more talent and a better power play. We'll see. But I don't expect a whole lot out of Ryan Johansson at this point in his career. I think he kind of is what he is. And
Matty Beniers wins the Calder Trophy On to, and one more last trade, Kings deal Sean Durzi to the Yotes for a second-round pick. I think it's a pretty good move for the Yotes. Kings wouldn't be able to pay him his arbitration, Durzi, and especially if they want to get PL Dubois, they're right at the cap, so they needed to shed some contracts. So I think that's a good deal for them. Sean Durzi, poor guy, has to go play in Carolina. I mean, that's in Phoenix versus playing in LA, but that's how it kind of goes. A couple trades that didn't happen, and deals that are still in limbo. Go ahead.
Is that all you have about trades? Is that it?
There
was one more today. One more that was also included with the Bruins and the best team in the tri-state area.
The Rangers
Riley
made a
Walsh. No, you idiot! The Devils made a trade.
Nah, that can't be right.
Yeah. No, the Devils traded Riley Walsh to the Bruins for Shane Bowers. Nothing big, but
that's why I didn't mention it. Anyways, back to the real logical information. Flyers.
By the way, I'm on beverage number 2. I just want everyone to know I'm on beverage number 2 because I can be.
Flyers have about 2 trades that are in the air that haven't really been determined. Tony DeAngelo back to Carolina from Florida. This is on hold only because of the whole contract rule where you're not allowed to trade someone back with retained salary within the first year after dealing them. So I don't think the NHL is going to allow this one to go through, especially with retained money. But we'll see what happens. The other one,
trade him trade him to Arizona to retain more money, and then have Arizona trade him to Carolina for even less.
Or what if they trade with the Devils to really make the Devils a formidable foe?
I don't think it matters. You can't use like a middleman. No matter they can't go back to the team within a year, according to the CBA.
I'm just saying with the way that Phoenix or Arizona has done all this money laundering that they're doing in the league. And no, I don't want Tony DeAngelo on my team. He sounds like a solid individual who shouldn't be anywhere near my team.
Yeah. The other trade was Kevin Hayes and Travis Sanheim going to St. Louis for Torrey Krug and a first rounder. It looks like that's on hold because of Torrey Krug, saying no due to his no trade clause, which a lot of people are upset with Torrey Krug. Blame the organization. They're the ones that gave it to him. He's exercising his right to not go to a crappy team.
Yeah, I'm not blaming him at all.
It's 100% on him. He signed that contract wanting to be in St. Louis. Obviously things happen. They don't want him anymore, but that's his right, and that's his no trade clause, and good for him for saying no. I think that Philly is trying to
they're trying to persuade
him and persuade him to come there. But unfortunately for Krug, you kind of see the writing on the wall. St. Louis doesn't want you. Do you want to be there? So now you should. I'm thinking he's going to probably work with them to find something that works for him and his family.
So you got to get. I mean, we got to remember something. If they're going to look to flip him, Torrey Krug was awful last season, completely awful. And ever since going to St. Louis, hasn't been very good in general. But last year he was. I don't have the words for it. So and when the rumors about maybe they'll flip him to New Jersey makes absolutely no sense. There's literally no need for him in New Jersey at all. I don't know how substantiated those rumors were in general, but you want him on the power play? You already got Dougie Hamilton, so there's literally no point. He's one of the worst defensemen in the league at this point, coming off last year. And why would you want to add that?
To begin with?
Yeah, that was bizarre. I don't know where the rumor came from. I didn't really look much into it. I just know that it was something, but that didn't make any sense. There was also another Florida, I think maybe was another team potentially he'd be flipped to. But again, it's just like why? I don't know why a contending team would want to take that.
That's what I was going to ask. Is you guys were talking about it yesterday, and how New Jersey got swept up into all of that, because we're currently over. We have more defensemen than we know what to do with, and we're trying to figure out what to do with still with someone like Graves, with Ryan Graves. We still haven't re-signed, nor has he left. So we have an overabundance of defensemen. Like what would we need a defenseman like him for? Unless we were looking to flip him. It's so stupid. I mean, just because it's on social media doesn't mean it's true. One, but two, it's like,
well, no, I'm just saying that's where the rumors.
I know, but still, it's like we have an overabundance of defensemen already. It just doesn't make sense.
It was curious to me as well.
I think Torrey Krug should listen to this podcast and deliberately sign in Philadelphia just to shove it up Steven's ass next season.
Yeah, I like it.
Have a great season in Philly. And then you get that.
What about? Hold on.
But
what about Krug?
Steven might win that bet.
What about Krug signing with Bone Storm and pairing up with Schwim?
Oh my God!
Even better.
Never score.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if that would be worse than going to Philly. I don't know.
Couple signings. Connor Ingram re-signs with Yote's 3-year deal. He was terrible, and they gave him just about $3 million a year. I think it was. Yeah.
Man, I could
bet
good for him.
Yep. Good for Ingram. Jordan Stahl resigns, the captain for the Canes, 4 years, $11.6 million total. Patrick Marleau hired by the Sharks to aid all prospects, and we'll see how he does in San Jose. Jets and Calgary both looking to deal major players.
They're hemorrhaging players.
Hellebuck, Scheifele, PLD.
Hemorrhaging players.
Yeah, which there was a rumor that Dubois and the Kings have kind of a deal in place where the Kings would send Iafallo and Gabe Velarde as well as a pick, so we'll see what happens there. Blake Wheeler, another one. Calgary, everyone's saying they want to not sign there. Noah Hannafin, he's looking to get traded. Elias Lindholm has not signed his extension yet. Looking to pay him not Brock Nelson money. The guy who signed with the Islanders. Bro Horvat money. Tyler Toffoli also said he won't resign. Mikael Backlund wanted the captaincy last year. He's unhappy with the team. He might not resign too.
He's gone.
So these two teams, real bad.
Downhill.
Yep.
Still saying
quickly.
Blake Wheeler might be bought out. Also, that's another thing they're talking about.
Absolutely nuts. Hall of Fame class 2023, 5 players, 2 builders induction class. Goalies: Henrik Lundqvist, Tom Barrasso, Mike Vernon. Players: Caroline Ouellette, Pierre Turgeon. Builders: Ken Hitchcock, Pierre Lacroix. The meme of Ken Hitchcock as Paul Bear was absolutely fantastic.
Oh my God, it's freaking great.
We talked about it quickly. Obviously, Ken Hitchcock belongs in there. Pierre Lacroix, same thing. Caroline Ouellette. There's a little bit of scuttlebutt. Maybe it should have been a 1 or 2 other female players over her, but she's in very deserving. It's Henrik Lundqvist, who was one of the locks. I know we talked about first ballot versus not, but this is the class we're dealt with. The 3 that everyone's kind of shaking their heads at: Tom Barrasso, Mike Vernon, Pierre Turgeon.
I don't know how one of them gets in over Mogilny. One in particular over Mogilny.
Yeah. The snubs.
It boggles the mind.
It does boggle the mind. I got another one to boggle the mind too. After we talk about these couple, but Henrik Lundqvist, I got to give him for what he was. He was a fantastic goalie. He just couldn't win the Stanley Cup, which is fine with me. But he won everything else.
Yep. He did,
and he has the stats to prove what that he was a great goaltender, and he's also a pretty good human being as well. But I think his save percentage was in the 9s, and then Mike Vernon and Tom Barrasso were in the 8s. And I think we were talking about this over the weekend. It's like, why are they going in and someone like Mogilny is not? It's like you watch Mike Vernon in the early days and with Calgary. Maybe because that was before my time watching hockey. Maybe he did more for Calgary than
he also punched Patrick Waugh in the face.
Yeah,
I think he got in just for that fight against Colorado.
Fine.
Him and Patrick Waugh. Maybe let him in for that. That was a great tilt.
One of the most epic fights. And Detroit was a powerhouse in those years that he was playing for them, and he won the Cup with Calgary. So maybe it's a lot of it's more for play we didn't see. The 4 of us didn't see. But his save percentage was in the 8.
Throw another one on the mantle.
There you go.
Bergeron wins another Selke.
Jesus.
It's going to be named the Bergeron Trophy after all said and done.
Probably.
A couple. So snubs, right? We talked about. Oh, go ahead, Shorts. Sorry.
I was going to say same thing. Barrasso, and save percentage in the eights. It's like, and Steven, I know he was your goalie in all those years, but like,
he was never my goalie. Ask Schwem.
It's true.
Well, I know you didn't like him. But he was Pittsburgh goalie.
Like somebody else
that
started with a K. Ended with an N.
Anyway,
first name.
Snubs. Because I got a snub for you when you're done.
Well, yeah, I am a snub. Yeah. Caroline Ouellette, Jennifer Botterill, I think should have maybe been the choice there. Rob Brindamore, another snub. I mean, the guy, awesome on faceoffs. You think of a defensive center. I think he was a Hall of Famer. Obviously McGillney. That's not even close. Would you guys rather have Chris Osgood or Curtis Joseph over Barrasso and
Cujo? Cujo, hands down.
Yes.
Cujo
over
both of them, over Vernon and Barrasso. He's like one of the top winningest goalies of all time. Why would he not be in there over them? Osgood was horrible, and he got his ass kicked by Patrick Waugh in round 2 of that fight. So he should not be in. But no, Cujo hands down should be in, and Mogilny. I think those are the two biggest snubs, in my opinion.
Yeah, Mogilny for sure. For how many years?
Mogilny,
like 3 years now.
No question. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't like. Do they have something against the guy? Like, did he?
I don't know.
Punch somebody's kid or something? Like, what the hell? Like, what do they have against this guy?
I don't know.
It makes no sense.
Where is that? I had a stat which I wanted to share with you guys. And of course, I'm not gonna be able to find it because, God forbid, my phone works properly. Essentially, no. It was about Hall of Fame and goaltenders and how essentially since, and I wanted to find it. Yeah, I'll find it in a second.
So Chris Osgood get in, and you could let that guy in too. Might as well.
Darren Poopa Sandillo.
Just for his last name.
All right, so I got a snub. So I have a Hall of Fame snub for you guys to discuss. And Sam brought this up last night, so I cannot take any credit for this. Someone who should be in the Hall of Fame in the builder category, who is not, is Stan Fischler.
Okay.
He's a hockey historian. He knows he's been around the game since the 1950s or before that. The guy has forgotten more about hockey than any of us know. The guy is just a treasure trove of hockey knowledge. He should just he's a historian of the game.
Don't broadcasters have their own Hall of Fame, or do they actually get in as builders in the Hall? Are there other broadcasters in the Hockey Hall of Fame as builders?
Isn't Doc Emmerich in the Hall of Fame?
I don't.
As a broadcaster,
I thought he was just in like. I thought it was just. Is he in as a broadcaster, or is he in?
Yeah, I think he's in the.
Own,
I mean, either
broadcasting.
Either way.
Thing.
Well, no, I would think there's other.
Been around the game forever, and he should absolutely be in the Hall of Fame. And Sam can make a better argument than I can on this. But
yeah, I'd like to hear it because
there's definitely a broadcasting
cannot take that man.
Well, yeah.
I find him completely exhausting.
Which I completely agree with, but
I know he's no good scoring.
I mean,
he's entertaining at least with his knowledge. But
all right, here we go. From Frank Saravalli. Only 13 goalies who played in the post-1967 NHL have been elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame. So since 1967, only 13 goalies have made it in. There's been 16 goalie goals and 15 Winter Olympics in that span. So you think the NHL is trying to right a wrong that they don't have goalies, so they're trying to get these guys in and just kind of buff up stats here?
I don't know. I guess credentials are weird, right?
Mike Vernon and Tom Barrasso.
Because you only have a handful of like there was a long period of time where like Vezina winners were just a handful of guys, you know?
Yeah.
And that's like the only trophy you can win besides, the Jennings, but the Jennings is a team.
It's
a tandem.
You get that with your
right?
Yeah, you get that with your partner.
So I mean, and you don't have like there's no one paying much attention to best goals against average because it's like, okay, how many games did you play or how many games did you start? And same with save percentage and shutouts and so on and so forth. So, but I think I would assume having a save percentage over 9 would be a requirement to be in the Hall of Fame, and not just like having the luck of being on great teams and winning championships with them by being good enough, right? So I don't know what they're doing. To be honest,
I'm trying to look up the list.
Another stat for Cujo, real quick. Undrafted.
Who's 32? Is that Crawford?
Undrafted.
32.
One of the greatest goalies of all time. Undrafted. Why is he not in?
Goaltenders in the Hockey Hall of Fame. So what was the year you gave? What was the year you gave since 67?
67.
All right, so goaltenders in the Hockey Hall of Fame since 67. Brada, Waters, Shawchuk, Holmes. A lot of these guys
They've all been
heard of. Rayner, right? Glenn Hall, Bauer, Plant.
These guys are all prior.
Worsley, Lumley, Ken Dryden, Perrant, Cheevers, Eddie Jockman. Eddie Jockman was in 87. Esposito.
No, but I think that they played post 1967. Not that they were inducted.
Chris Letang won the Masterton as well.
Trediak, Billy Smith,
Grant
Fuhr, Patrick Waugh, Ed Belfour. This doesn't have Brodeur on there. This is definitely not updated.
That's not the. Yeah, I'll find it. We'll talk about it maybe later on.
I'm trying to think. So, who would you put in the Hall of Fame that's played since, let's say, 1980? What goaltenders would you put in the Hall of Fame?
I mean, they're in, right? Well, you think of the Hall of Fame as like the all-time greats, and I don't know. I guess there's not as many goaltenders, right? Well, there's not as many goaltenders, right?
Really?
And goaltenders who are repeatedly leading the league in all stats, which Lundqvist was his entire career. So give him that because he didn't win any championships. Brodeur, Waugh, those were the shoo-ins, of course, that we grew up with. But beyond that, it's like, okay, who's next? Is Carey Price going to be a Hall of Famer at one point? Marc-Andre Fleury absolutely will be a Hall of Famer for sure. I think Rene, perhaps, and some of these other guys who were very good for a while. Kiprusoff was great for a while. Nabokov was great for a while. These were goalies that were great for a little while, but think of them as like the whole. They're not Brodeur. They're not Waugh. They're not.
They didn't change the game.
Hellebuck, Vasilevsky. I think they're on their way.
Yeah, I mean, you would think you would have thought Carey Price, now that he's been so injured, or maybe never play again.
I don't know if he's a Hall of Fame goalie. He's a great goalie, but not a Hall of Fame goalie.
He has been touted. He has been touted the best goalie in the league until Vasilevsky dethroned him of that.
Bogus, yeah.
And this was, this is from the players. The players voted Carey Price as the best goalie in the league for years. And I strongly believe that he was that good. I just, had the unfortunate circumstances of being on a pretty terrible team his entire career, which is no fault of his. But, now with these injuries and stuff, and did he play long enough? You can add all these other questions into that. But, yeah, there's only a select few. And now, of course, we think of the workhorses who are, getting the Andre Vasilevsky money, like Vasilevsky, Connor Hellebuck. Repeated guys, Shesterkin could potentially be one also. So
I have a name.
But yeah, maybe.
I have a name.
Could be, I say.
If you say Schmid, I'm going to punch you in the face.
Listen, I'm an idiot, but I'm not that much of an idiot. Trust me.
All right, make your point, and then we got to go to the draft because we're running
I'm just going to throw a name. Rask.
Nah, don't think so.
But Rask is another one who didn't really play as many games as you would think that he did.
Yeah,
he did a lot of share time, and he retired younger, and he started a little later.
Yeah, agreed. All right, a special shout out before we get to the draft.
Outstanding.
He was very good. Yeah. Special shout out to Gary Bettman in the NHL for being dumbasses and basically getting rid of specialty sweaters during warmups because of a couple bigot NHL players. So good job, Gary. Way to make it so that you're not including everybody, and you just really once again setting a select group of fans and pushing them away. So good job, Gary Bettman and the NHL.
Not just that, they do the hockey fights cancer and all, that's gone.
Yeah, you're gonna tell.
It's so stupid.
You're gonna tell a player whose parent has cancer, that they can't wear their goddamn cancer jersey, or a veteran that a father served in the military, or black players in the league that they can't wear a jersey at a warm-up because you can't make a couple players wear jerseys for LGBTQ.
Just don't wear the warm-up jersey. Just don't wear the warm-up.
Let those players dick around in the corner in their regular jerseys and single them out, because that's what they deserve. Anyways,
they just took the easy. They took the easy road.
Yeah,
they just wanted to be really lazy and stupid and
in the way they took shots at other people. So good job, NHL. All right, quickly, NHL draft.
Best sport, worst league.
Best. Yeah, exactly. It's depressing. All right, this Wednesday at Pasta Bar at Enzo's, Pasta Grill, right at Enzo's, 7 p.m. live draft show. Let's Go Devils podcast, Hockey on Tap podcast. We're all going to be together once again.
No.
Wait for it.
Live.
There it is.
Wow. Live.
I'll say wait for it. Wait
Pasta
for it.
Grill at Enzo's, by Enzo's, sorry.
Five Alive.
You can find it on social media. Once again, 7 p.m.
Live.
Come either check us out in person or tune in. It's going to be a very good show. Draft experts and and then these guys.
And a bunch of knuckleheads.
Who would not want to witness this shit show in person?
It's fun.
My question. We're just a bunch of nerds. Wait, or is it dorks? Did we figure that out over the weekend? Is it nerds?
Yeah, I thought we came to a conclusion we were dorks.
Yeah, I said dorks.
All right.
And then we're going to add even more alcohol on top of that. So I think it's going to be we're going to
beer
dork out.
All right, as I said
with
before,
our dork sound.
Drew Way could not join us, or else we would have him on, and I wouldn't butcher everything he wrote to me in basic. He goes, "Here's a big info dump for you," and he gave me a list. So Connor Bedard,
here we go.
Overall #1 pick. He's going to go to Chicago Blackhawks, as we've said multiple times. After that, there's kind of a run of centers: Adam Fantilli, Leo Carlson, Will Smith. Everybody kind of wonders where Matt Vivitchkov's going to go. If he doesn't go, in the first 7 picks, he is most likely for sure going to Washington Capitals, because Ovi will get him over, and the whole Russian factor, it's kind of what it is. But I asked Drew Way for a couple tips about prospects and targets for the Penguins, targets for the Rangers, targets for end of draft, late picks that he thought would be guys people would want to target. On Connor Bedard, he is good.
Lightning or Devils there, Schwim?
No,
I didn't, but I heard end of the draft, and Tampa doesn't have a pick until I think the 93rd round.
Devils,
so.
and Devils don't have a first round pick, so I couldn't.
I know.
I
heard Penguins and Rangers. That's why I had to ask.
Yeah, well, I was nice enough to join Steven's team. So
Shorts. He's just jealous of our teams. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah,
I know.
That we all did.
All he's been doing is losing to the Lightning and the Devils in both last season.
You didn't win. You didn't win this year. Devils haven't won this year, so we're in the same place.
Yeah, but you couldn't get past the first round there, could you, Billy?
You're not first, you're last. Connor Bedard is as good as the hype. I wouldn't quite put him in McDavid or Crosby, the true. Did I say Crosby?
Crosby?
Yep, the true generational.
Crosby?
But I'd comfortably put him in with Matthews and Eichel, so he's in that kind of class. Some targets for the Penguins at 14. Oliver Moore, best skater in the class, center, also puts skill, shooting, handling, passing, pretty smart player as well, often compared to a Dylan Larkin type.
Oh, okay, good.
Oliver Moore. Dalibor Dvorsky.
Comparing to Dominic Moore.
Yeah, I know. Big, strong physical center who had huge hype coming into this year, but disappointed a bit, which is why he may be available at 14. This kid was thought of as like a top 7-8 prospect. Great across the board in terms of offensive skill attributes, but just a fine skater, which is fine because of his size. David Reinbacher, who they're talking about at 5, might not make it, 6 or 7, but top defenseman. Best D in the class, so probably will be gone, but he's a fantastic all-around defenseman with good offensive instincts and great in his own zone. Comparison I saw to him was Pietrangelo. Matthew Wood plays wing and center. My guess is he'll be a left wing in the NHL. Tall and lean, but room to grow. Great shot, great passer, good handling, physical and super smart. Not a good skater, though. if he were, he'd be a clear top 10 pick. So for Mr. Echeverria, some pretty good run on prospects. I like it. He's, the guy's, Drew fantastic. Rangers at 23.
Thanks,
Quentin Musty. What?
So thanks, Drew.
Yep. Rangers at 23. Quentin Musty. Penguins fans should be happy even if they take him, but Bob McKenzie has him pretty low, so might be available at 23. Left wing, so New York Rangers fans will get cranky, but he's a highly, highly skilled power forward that can do it all. Absolutely either shooter. Also has a fantastic stick handling and hockey sense. Daniil Butt, another winger.
He's already better than Lafreniere, sounds like.
Yep, exactly. Big, 6'4", 200 pounds, very skilled, physical and smart, pretty raw though. And then Riley Height, center with a lot of upside, just about 6 foot, 180. Can legit beat you in many ways. Hands, passing, shooting. Phenomenal on the power play with space. Nasty player too. A real pest. Knocks are inconsistent player and poor defensively. So poor that was, poor a little poor defensively. So that makes sense.
Wait, his last name was Height?
Height. Yep.
Height.
Riley Height.
And one of his attributes was his size?
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Oh, I was waiting for this guy to sing. Thank God.
Who is it?
I have no idea. Whoever's been talking this entire time.
Is it Blake Shelton? Is he there? That piece of shit, no talent hack?
See, you know what, though? I would have a beer with Blake Shelton.
I have no idea who that is.
He looks like a guy that you'd want to have a
terrible.
beer with.
He's the one banging, what's her face? Gwen Stefani.
He's married there, yeah.
They're the kid. Yeah. They're the kid.
Still don't know.
He's terrible.
I would have a
He's not good, Steven. I can assure you. Just trust me.
All right.
I'll have a beer with him, but I don't want to experience any of his music or what he calls music.
Yeah.
For Schwim, Shorts guy, well, really for all of us, these are the prospect sleepers, lesser known prospects who can see their stock rise. Rasmus Larson, left-handed defenseman. He stood out when he watched 6'3", strong skating ability. Someone that they think, when you look back, could be one of those guys. Oh, hey, should have been like a top 20 pick. Luke McNamara, Saginaw center. He's a no doubt top 2-round pick, but his skating and puck skills are the reason why he really could, kind of jump up even more. Brandon Svobotka, Youngstown USHL player. He's someone that they could maybe 3rd, 4th, 5th round. 6'3" center, skates pretty decently. Damian Klara, goaltender from Sweden. Jonathan, what? What's your name?
He's laughing. He's laughing at your accent.
No.
No, I say I can put your names. It's fine. Jonathan Castagna, center from St. Andrews College, Canadian high school. Felix Unger-Sorm, a right winger. Larry Keenan, a left-handed defenseman. There's a couple other guys on here, but basically guys
I have a question.
To watch out for.
Are any of these kids related to past NHL players? Do we know? Like any sons or in this show? Like, because I was hearing some familiar names. I wonder if there's any any relation. Yeah.
No, that's Svoka's not. It's a little different spelling, but
okay. That's the only one that piqued.
I wonder.
Hey, Pekka.
Gabriel Perreault. I don't know if Gabriel Perreault is.
Find out on Wednesday, maybe.
Yannick?
We shall.
Come see us make asses of ourselves, and we can find out.
Oh, Wednesday. Yep. He's the son. Him and his brother are the son of former player Yannick Perreault. So Gabriel Perreault. He was going to be a top 12.
Just like Yannick.
Well,
that
guy was a master in faceoffs, and I always wanted him on my team because that's one of my things I yell at the screen all the time. And nobody can win a freaking faceoff on this team. Sorry.
Oliver Bonk is the son of NHL player Radek Bonk.
Radek Bonk.
He's a defenseman.
Will Smith is the son of Will Smith.
Yeah.
No, it's actually Will Smith.
I got the inside scoop on that one.
He's got a movie coming up. So he's getting into his role. He's going to be drafted into the NHL.
There's a Wahlberg, but I don't think he has any relation to Donnie.
You never know.
Or Mark.
Oh, Ethan Gauthier, his cousin is NHL player. Julian Gauthier and his father, Dennis, played over 500 NHL games. Dennis Gauthier.
Right.
That's really all I got on here that I can find right off the bat. Dennis. So please turn on the show. I'm going to get some more notes. And
took my nads, Dennis.
We'll have Drew talk about the draft recap. We'll get him on either next week or the week after.
Come out on Wednesday.
Guys,
Everyone should just come out on Wednesday and just hang out with this crew of idiots.
Hang out and have beers with us.
Seriously.
Idiots
Us
and Sam Wu. Sounds a lot of fun.
No, Sam Wu's the voice of reason.
No.
Linus. And look who was right and who was wrong again.
Can I point at him, Steven? I'm going to point at him.
Yes.
Wait.
Please
do.
Wait.
This way? Wait. That way.
Wait.
Hold on. This isn't working.
I can't figure it out
point
either.
That way.
It's opposite.
There it is.
It's opposite.
He's all the way over there.
It was William.
Hollywood Squares, all the way to the left.
It was William.
Bogus.
I think it's Sorokin.
Pekka Rinne.
Nope.
All right. Let me see here. Darren Pupa, Will Smith's son, the actor and singer, Eric Bassad.
Why did you say Darren Pupa?
It's my inside scoop right there.
Son's in the draft?
Darren Pupa?
Darren Pupa Scoopa. Koopa. Troopa.
What am I looking up? Oh, yeah.
Dean's just ended the show. He's had it.
Yeah, I'm done. My beer, Steven, I think 375, about right. The strawberry pickle beer.
I get a 4 because I love pickles. Nope, he's chugging. Can I just say something?
Haze is a 4. Cold Crash is a 4. I gotta finish my Cold Crash. Probably have another one because I got nothing going on today or tomorrow.
There you go. 4.
Can I just inform? Can I just inform? I'll just inform the viewers before we leave that Bud Light is always brewed using the choicest hops. Choicest.
It's craft beer at its finest.
Can you shotgun that for us before we leave, Steven? Just shotgun that on right now.
Shotgun.
On Wednesday.
I'll
shotgun it.
Shotgun
it right on Wednesday.
Shotgun. Bring a second.
I don't have the
shotgun
tools.
With you.
Okay.
I got the tool. Bring 2 of them.
All right, Shrimp, take her home, buddy.
Here it is, everybody. Come join us.
Hockey on tap.
Come join us on Wednesday, everybody.
Live,
baby.
baby.
Live.
Live.